Joseph Howard, New York. May I reserve my right to yield all remaining time to Webb from Texas?
That is in order.
My father has a little funny saying that he says, which is, don't know why they're laying me off. I don't do anything. That's the problem here. These people need to be held accountable for what they're doing. If I do my job poorly, my boss can fire me instantly. You're not allowed to come in anymore. You can't do that with politicians. The impeachment process takes time, and the only other way for them to be fired is for them to step down personally. I'd like to yield all remaining time to Webb from Texas.
You've been yielded 1 minute and 5 seconds.
Webb from Texas, please, once again, excuse my placard. One of my main points has already been said a few times, and is that we elected these people to serve us. These people are serving us poorly by not leaving with an adequate budget, and we need to take care of this problem. If any other job were to leave with an unfocused budget, then that person would be fired. And we need to do the same for our Congress members, but we can't fire them, and this is a great solution. If they realize that their pocketbooks and their paychecks are at risk, they'll start balancing the budget so that we can have a better life. Thank you. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you, Delegate.
Colin Reynolds, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I reserve my right to yield to Delegate Brown from Pennsylvania.
That is in order.
I rise in strong opposition to this proposal. First off, that we can't pay less than minimum wage in the United States. A previous delegate stated that we can simply fire employees. We can't do that with politicians by paying them less than 1 day's pay. We're not paying the minimum wage, which makes us breaking the laws as a country. Also, with this proposal, we're going to force politicians to make bad decisions because they have to do it in a very time-efficient manner. And in addition to that, we can't punish all Congress members for this. Just because there's a few holdouts, whether it be in the Budget Committee or in Congress, we're punishing everybody, including the President, who can't just go and say, this is what I want to happen. He doesn't have that power. He has to sign the budget after it has already been determined by the Congress. With that, I yield my remaining time to Delegate Brown.
You've been yielded 50 seconds.
Simon Brown, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Thank you, Madam Speaker and Previous Speaker. First of all, a delegate stated that when an employer is angry at his employee, that he should fire them, and that is an American institution. However, who is the employer of politicians? It's not the federal government, it is the American people and their electorate. If the American people are angry with the performance of their politicians, they have every right to elect them out of office. Also, to believe that every person in this country wants their politicians to have a balanced budget is also false. An unbalanced budget is a very common economic practice, and it has often helped our economy. Look at World War II, look at several other periods of American economic history. It often helps. It is a very valid economic practice, and to punish people...
I'm sorry, Delegate, your time is elapsed.
Point that this is not fair to not pay our congressman, our president, and it's against minimum wage. Well, in Michigan, the state congress is not paid if they do not balance their budget. On June 26th, the New York Congress, state congress, was not paid. Trying to think. Yes, also Congress can exempt themselves from laws. They can exempt themselves from minimum wage laws. That is possible. They do that all the time. If they pass this and if it is ratified by the states, I'm sorry, but constitutional amendments are supreme law of the land. They override any other laws in our nation. Also, 3450 states have called on our nation to have a convention to have an amendment to the Constitution with a balanced budget. Some delegates brought up the fact that we cannot balance our budget. Back in 1990, since then, our spending has tripled. If we cut 2/3 of our discretionary spending alone, we can have a government as big as we did in 1990. Also, back in 2001, since 1998 through 2001, for 4 years, we had a surplus under Bill Clinton. We could do this again. This is possible. Many delegates brought up the point that it's short-sightedness. They'll be short-sighted. They'll do it quickly. But delegates, right now, they're wasting our money. They're not thinking about it right now. This will force them to sit down, to think, and to put their mind to what they're doing with the American people's money. The average net worth of a U.S. senator is $8.5 million, and 33% of every House representative are independent millionaires. They can do this. 49 of our 50 states have balanced budget amendments. Delegates, this is something that we need at this time in our nation. By 2020, the U.S. is expected to owe more than $24.5 trillion, and nearly 100 cents of every dollar will automatically go to Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and the interest on the debt.
I'm sorry, Delegate, your time has elapsed. We will now move on to voting on this proposal. The motion, will the rovers please seal the chambers? The motion before this assembly is that proposal number 26 does pass. All those in favor, please stand in your normal speaking voice and say aye. Aye. Please be seated. All those opposed? Nay. Please be seated. This proposal does not pass.